They were heartbreaking images. Children lost, frightened and hungry in the aftermath of Haiti's massive earthquake. But what was a distant disaster for some was a personal nightmare for others as they painfully waited to welcome adopted sons and daughters home to Canada. Mike Armstrong brings you the emotional story tonight of two families whose unconditional love rescued their little ones from the rubble.
Kathy and Tom Nelson expected the exhaustion. Adopting a 3-year-old was a pretty big change overnight. Luke's got a lot of energy. What they didn't expect, they say, was the raw power of the emotional connection to their new son.
There's times like when you come home after work or you've been out and he, comes running up to you with a big smile on his face, yelling Papa or Mama, and I think that's when it hits you. It's like, whoa, it's our son.
The connection came just as quickly for Marie-Hélène Marchand.
Bravo.
Last October, Marchand was sent 2 photos of the boy the adoption agency had chosen for her. She was, that instant, a mother.
It was my son. It wasn't a little boy I'd been paired with. It was my son. It was Paul.
Now, in any adoption, there are ups and downs. It's usually a long process. Adopting from Haiti has its own complications. It is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Haitians struggle with poverty, political upheaval, natural disasters, and of course, the earthquake. In Canada, Luke's new home life expectancy is 80. In Haiti, life expectancy for a male is less than 60.
And here we are, we're going into the orphanage for the first time. This is so cool.
The Nelsons visited Luke in Haiti in May of 2009. They walked through with their camera rolling.
Oh, all the kids are here watching a movie.
They found Luke outside on a balcony. This was the moment they met.
Is that Luke? That's Luke, isn't it? I recognize the shorts.
There was a small problem. They didn't know Luke was camera shy.
Hi, Luke. Hello, sweetheart. She said. Oh, it's okay. It's all right.
After a few tears, Tom touched his son for the first time, and a few moments later, held him in his arms.
There's Dad with Luke. We are so precious.
The Nelsons got to stay with Luke in a hotel. It took a couple of days for him to loosen up, but for the family, it was a week of intense bonding.
It was just, he was ours. It just felt.
You just knew it. You had that feeling like, yeah, this is it. This is right.
And it's like he's always been a part of our lives.
The problem was saying goodbye. The adoption process wasn't complete. The Nelsons couldn't take Luke home. They had to return him to the orphanage. The couple went to Haiti to see Luke 3 times, each time with their camera, but the adoption dragged on and on. After leaving her son behind the 3rd time, Kathy said emotionally she didn't think she could do it again. Then came January 12th.
It is a catastrophe in Haiti. More than 100,000 people may be dead.
I think we both got home from work, and I think we were sitting around getting ready for dinner, and my sister called and said, "Did you guys hear about the earthquake?" And we're like, "What are you talking about? What earthquake?" She goes, "In Haiti." And then we turned the news on and saw it, and both of us dropped. The news of the earthquake was, it was like somebody just kicked her right in the gut.
Marchand got the same kick in the gut. She was actually getting ready to go to Haiti to meet Paul in February. January 12th, she was grading papers. A friend called and said, "Turn on your TV."
I told myself it wasn't possible. I watched until 2 a.m., trying to get every bit of information I could.
Thankfully, neither family was in the dark too long. Both orphanages got word out the next day everyone was alive. But what next? Orphanages, adoption agencies, governments, the scramble was on. Well, instead of delaying the adoptions, it actually moved them up. Marchand might have had months and months to wait. Instead, days later, she drove from her home in Montreal to Ottawa. Paul arrived on a flight, and she was handed her son at the airport.
When they passed him to me, my legs gave out. We sat on the floor for 3 hours, getting to know each other.
Are we going to sing Maybe the Wheels on the Bus?
The Nelsons went to Florida. Luke got out of Haiti with kids being adopted by American parents. They were finally getting their son.
We get to the place where they're holding the 2 kids from Canada, and we walk into the gym like all excited, and he had just gone down for a nap.
He had just fallen asleep.
So for 2 hours we sat there looking at him.
We went up to him and we just knelt beside him, and we were just staring at him and holding his hand and kissing him, and we didn't want to wake him up because they said he played all day, and we said let him sleep, and so we just stared at him.
The first weeks weren't easy, but in adoption they rarely are. Everything's new for the child, from the food to the bed to the family. For the children moved out of Haiti right after an incredible disaster, it was even tougher. Dominica Labassi works with families adopting from Haiti. She says many of the children were hypersensitive in the first weeks and months.
Any sound can trigger a reaction from the child. You know, I had children that the parents were trying to basically just rock the child, you know, playing with the child, and the child freaked out because his feet were not touching the ground. It reminded him of the experience of the earthquake.
The Nelsons say Haiti will be a part of Luke's life, that they'll help him remember where he's from. But it's something families are having to be careful about. In adoption, there can be a resistance against their former culture.
Given the experience that the children had, it's almost like they want to disassociate from the past. They don't want to be reminded of that. There's too much pain associated with it.
None of the new parents have been left with any emotion about Haiti other than appreciation. Both families say they'd go back tomorrow and take another child if it was that easy. It's not. If there's a regret, it's that they didn't do it earlier, but that's not a complaint. They're pretty happy with how their families turned out.
Love you.